So this boss is dangerous because there's an ad phase and the ads actually have a small enrage if you don't kill them in time. This might be an issue on a job that doesn't do more, like a lot of damage, such as warrior. If you have the Bard instance, I would always use it on this boss. I'm gonna show you the fight without it. So I would recommend Steel on this boss too. And this boss is pretty simple, except the ad phase is a bit tricky, and I'll show it to you. So first of all, he's gonna summon the ads. Well, he's gonna summon them, but they're still not targetable. So then the first mechanic, they're gonna slither around on the ground. And at some point, they're gonna stop moving when the cast is about to end. And then they're gonna pop out, right, where they are. You just wanna make sure you're not around them, if possible. Then the ads are gonna pop up. Now, I'll say, if you're playing a job with weak damage, and you don't have, like, anything, any instance running, I would single target the ads like this. I would try and kill 2 of them. And then when he starts jumping, you will get stunned. So you have to be careful. Like this. So you see what the ad's doing to me there? The ad was basically stunning me every time. That's what happens if the ads are alive when this mechanic happens. So if you don't have the damage to AoE kill them, you want to kill, just single target them, and then you want to tank the last one and make sure you're out of like the jumping puddles, right? We're going to see the mechanic multiple times, so don't worry. I'll show it to you again. So if I were to like not kill them in time, let's say I'm like, I think I could kill them. By the way, this jump is very easy. It just shows you where he's gonna jump like a bunch of times. Well, let's say I would not kill them in time. You're gonna see I'm gonna take massive damage here. So I would be very careful about not killing those in time. That's why it's much better if you single target. Now summon a maze. Like I said, she's a companion and she's gonna do damage to him. I'll just summon one to speed up this fight. Otherwise it's gonna be very long. But if you had the Bard, it would be your favorite thing to use against this. So I'm gonna show you what happens if I kill the ad. So if you're playing DPS or you have like a good thing summon, that's probably what's gonna happen. Now if you kill everything and you do this mechanic like the way you're supposed to, you just wanna make sure you're not where you're gonna jump. So he showed me like the 4 jumps, and then I just wanna make sure I'm not inside of him. An easy way to do it is you just look where he's gonna jump first, and you just make sure you go there right away, right? That's the easiest way to do this boss. And that should cover mostly everything about this. Once again, if you're a DPS, this is a very straightforward fight. Just kill the ads every time they're up. If you're a healer or a tank, or your healer pool is very low, then you will have to like find a complicated way to deal with it. Which mostly is just going to be single target the ones that you can, right? It is what it is. I would say this boss is the only one that's like kind of weird. After this boss, you're pretty good. There's definitely like difficult bosses later on, but this one is weird. I would say generally in PT, you want to also sacrifice your uptime, unless you want to be very optimal, but you don't have to be here. So you're gonna see a lot of these mechanics. I don't really care if I'm losing uptime and doing it inefficiently, right? It's not important. A trick for this mechanic, by the way, is the one where like they're like slithering around, is I just wait until the cast is almost done and then I move, because then if you start moving too fast, they're all gonna be like away by the time you know where to go, right? So this was a pretty long fight, but if you had the Bard instance, this would have been very fast. Bard is the boss. It's the boss item that you want to use every time you have. It's just unfortunately we didn't have it this time. Also, one last side note. If you're playing a job that relies on a 1 minute cooldown to burst, keep in mind this whole thing is like a 50-second cycle. It's a 55-second cycle, so your things will get unaligned at some point. But you see their minor release is like not quite up. It's just it keeps being a little, you know, offset every time. Okay, so this boss, not that bad. You see, I'm not even gonna do damage on this fight. I'm gonna show you how much damage she does by herself. So this boss does a touchdown. You're gonna see one arm glow. 2, 3, and then what I do is I go where the 4th one glows, which is gonna push me back into the 4th one to explode. Then I just go into the first spot, right? Like that. They're always next to each other. 4th spot and 1st spot are always next to each other. After this, he's gonna do a targeted thing. You just wanna bait it by a wall, any wall. Like this. And then you want to move away. It's gonna put like this cross-shaped thing. What I like to do is I like to go in a triangle right there. And then he's gonna do AoE start on you. But there's also random ones falling down. So you might like there's a chance you're gonna get boxed in like that. So just be careful. And if you get boxed in like really badly, which has happened to me on DPS in the past, just try and get it by one thing instead of like a bunch of things, right? So this one was the first one. We don't care about the second and third. We just care about the first one, this one. All right, 4th one is this, so we just face it. And then we go to the first spot. Once it explodes, so yeah, I was too soon there. You wait for it to explode and then you go. And as you can see, Bard is doing a lot of damage, right? So same mechanic there. I'm gonna start doing DPS after this. Same mechanic, we bait it away. And then we move in like any of the triangles. I find it easier personally to just start in the triangle and move out, but I mean there's no reason why you couldn't do the opposite, right? But as you can see there, it almost bugs me in. Like just sometimes the patterns are just not nice. Right, so same thing, he jumps up. Okay, we just have to remember this is the first one. This is where we move. Then we only care about with the 4th one, which is this one. Then we get pushed. Then we move left. I'm pretty sure you can knockback immune this, by the way, which, funnily enough, if you're a warrior, watch out for that. Personally, I think it's easier to do without the knockback, though. Sorry, I mean with the knockback, not without. Pretty easy fight. Much easier than the last one, in my opinion. You see there, pretty bad box in. Could have hit me. If you're gonna get hit, just try and get it by 1 instead of running to like, you know, 3 AoEs like that. On tank, I could probably tank it, but on DPS, it might kill you if you get hit by too many things. So we just care about the first one, this one. And then we face the last one that we know is gonna blow up last. Now, honestly, you might make it in time if you also go from the 3rd, but might as well go from the 4th every time. It gives you more leeway. I believe if you do go in the roots, it doesn't actually like root you or anything. It puts a dot on you if I remember correctly. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I know it doesn't outright kill you because I got hit by it multiple times during my first run. A little thing to note, this is a first monster that actually something you have to know. When this guy is low, he will start doing this. It's Lionstone Rage, a big hit that if it hits you, on tank you won't die. On DPS, you might die without steal. With steal, you're probably fine, but this, I wouldn't really let them do it. I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of time to prevent it. A little thing of note about this guy, he does an untelegraphed frontal cone called Ripper Claw. It doesn't do that much damage, but you probably just want to avoid it. You want to get the good habits in. This Ripper Claw. Like this. So that's the last monster on this set that does something worthy of mention. It's pretty... It doesn't hurt that much, or like you might get hit by it and be totally fine. So when he does swinge, it's a point blank around himself, like this. If you're coming from the other deep dungeons, this is very confusing because swinge is usually a cone. But this time it's a circle for this guy. This guy only. This is only on this guy because there's another monster that does swinge later on, but it's a cone instead. So this guy does a lot of things. First of all, his auto attack is really weird because it doesn't even look like he's attacking you. Just a little side note, but he is auto attacking you. So the arena looks weird, but it's not because the mechanics are that complicated. You're gonna see. He does this. I believe it's called Liturgy of Light. It's basically rains are gonna fall down. They can fall in three like ways, right? Front, middle, or back. You just want to make sure you're not where it's gonna fall. Now when he does grip, he's gonna face you and he's gonna splash like aside. And then whichever side he splashes, he's gonna do like this follow-up after. You just want to go behind the hand. Don't worry, nothing of this one-shots you. With a steal on any job, nothing of this will one-shot you, so don't panic. Looks like there's a lot going on, but it's not like that dangerous. Okay. Now he also does these wheels. They just move in circle. So like, you know, this one is always gonna be in front. It's never gonna like come to me. Then he does grip again. Same thing. He's always gonna face you for this. You just want to make sure you move a little bit. Then you go behind the hand. He does it again. I can't really tell you in what order he does the abilities. To me, it feels almost random, but knowing this game, it's probably a specific order of doing them. But he will stack up the mechanics together, so you have to like understand them individually. So this is just a bait. Not really complicated, just run in circle. Don't if you're a caster, don't stand still for this. It catches up to you really fast. Always try to fight just near like, you know, an area that has room in the back, because then if he puts down a range, you have to make sure you can move in or out. So we have range there, so there's one in the back. There's one in the front. I see, and now he's gonna do the mechanics together. So we just don't get cleave. And then we just go behind the hand. If you had a bard, this would be already dead, probably. It's just gonna be slow because we don't have a bard. The bait again. These, by the way, don't put a vuln on you or anything. They just do damage if you like touch them. But there's no like debuff from touching them. Like if you have to run into a wheel for a fraction of a second to do something, do it. It's not that bad. Same thing. He always does the follow-up on the side that he cleaved. Now sometimes he's gonna do that combo, and it's like, what you should really do is whenever it leaves, you should run to the next, like, let's say area. If you do that, you can always do the range after. But if you disrespect it like I did, it doesn't do that much damage if the range is too after. If you do if you do match parties, this is probably a boss you're gonna encounter a lot. Because it's the 2130 boss, right? Same thing, it leaves. And then we just go behind this. And technically, if we want to be like as safe as possible, we would go all the way there. Because then if there's a ring in the middle, I can just actually avoid it, right? So you see, even with the explanations, this set took me about 30 minutes. So we're still not worrying about the time at all there. And yeah, this always targets you, so you just have to do a little sidestep. And you just go to the next area. No, nothing is a one-shot there. You could only get one shot if you panic and you get it by like a million things, or you stand still for this. So don't stand still for this, but then everything else, as long as you don't panic and run into everything, you won't die. That's honestly true for like most bosses, with some exceptions. Generally, if you're gonna fail something, if you know you're gonna fail something, try to fail only one thing and you'll be fine. But then don't get hit by like 5 mechanics at the same time because you panic, right? Like if let's say I panic there, I don't want to like run into a wheel, into like 3 things at the same time. I just want to get hit by one thing. Alright, as this was a chunky boy, as you can see. Most bosses, if you don't have a bark root, is it what it's called? I think it's called a bark root. This guy has a pretty big cone, not like that scary, but kind of worth remembering if you're running around a lot or like you're in a weird angle. He has a pretty big cone. Also has a circle. Pegasus has a wombo combo. It will not kill you, but it's good to know. He's gonna open up with charge. This is gonna push you. After this, he's gonna do sometimes. Keep in mind, abilities, and I will repeat this often. Abilities are not always consistent, but he will often repeat. He will often combo this with a Naivety center on himself. We're just not seeing it right now, but he didn't do it there. I'll try and see if I can make him do it. See, he's often gonna do it with this skill, which is a huge point blank. It's a late telegraph, so you have to know it's coming. So if you're fighting the Pegasus, generally you just want to make sure that you're looking out for his cast bar. And if he's casting something that has no name, that has no telegraph, then you know it's this AoE thing that's coming, right? So if I pull him and I let him do the gallop, the pushback, right, with the big line. Well, that you saw what I did, that pushed me, right? But then if I hide behind a wall, you see? He doesn't actually do it. Like, it basically whiffs the cast. Okay, that's a guy that's worth talking about. He does 2 things. One of which is not that scary. It looks scary. So he's gonna do mana boost. This looks very scary. I mean, interruptible, long cast. It just makes his damage higher, but it doesn't do that much damage, so it's... Like, you can see I'm taking almost no damage, right? This is no big deal. Now, the other thing that's scarier, though, is when he's low... So, when he's low, he's gonna cast this onto Dust. This is a one-shot... this is a one-shot telegraph... Sorry, on-telegraph AoE, like this. But the thing that you have to remember is he spams it until he dies or you die, right? He will never stop casting this. Ever. And the only reason it's not killing me right now is because there's a wall behind us. If I was there, I would die, right? So you're not likely to see this if you're just 1v1ing him, but you should keep this in mind. So I will just go in and kill him. You can stun him, by the way. This is a bad patrol. Well, a bad patrol. This is a patrol you have to keep in mind. He does a huge cone and a circle. The circle doesn't matter. The cone, though, is the thing I want to show you. I can probably force it if I like go a little distance away. So he does this huge cone, you see? Again, we're not at a point where things will one-shot you, but it's definitely something you want to keep in mind. Okay, Lion is worth mentioning. He's a bit like the bird. So not this move, but you're gonna see soon he's gonna do a very, very big cone. Not big, but like very long cone. Very long cone. So just watch out for that. This patrol has a gotcha mechanic. Probably the first real gotcha mechanic. It's gonna do a cone at some point. Poison, pollen, pair. You know, you might be noticing it's called pair. It's because he's gonna do it in the back after. So he does it in the front, then he's gonna turn, and he's gonna do it in the back. You can just stand on his side. It's always two ways. It's always front back. It never does like a different thing. It's always front back. Okay, Shapti, sorry, Inquisitor. That guy's worth talking about. So he doesn't do anything, but when he's low, he's gonna start spamming a move called Dead Door. This is a untelegraphed line AoE. I don't know if this one-shots you, and I don't really want to find out. My assumption is just because it's called Death's Door, but I don't know. Just know that it's there, right? When he's low, he starts spamming it, and he does nothing else. Okay, this guy is a pretty involved fight. He does quite a lot of things. So he does a move called End of Judgment. This is like a big pushback, but only if you're close to him. Like you saw, I wasn't close there. Then he does a Moat Maker. It's an AoE, but then it's a bigger AoE right after, like this. So it's like two AoEs, right? It's just the second one doesn't show you, and the second one's much bigger. Then he only does a line after that. I say after that, I don't know if there's really an order. Just know he does all these things. Okay, that's probably the most dangerous monster of that set. So this is a left-right guy. It's pretty obvious because he says like literally if it's right or left. So you just, you know, if it's right, you go left. And then it's pretty sure it's a half. It's like it's 50% of the. Like it's a true 50%, like right that. It doesn't look like it's covering on the right side at all there. But yes, it's just a left-right. When you start the fight, he's gonna jump back. He's gonna do a add spawn, but they're not like aggroable yet, like for the floor 10 boss. He's gonna do either a push or a get away. So the yellow is get away, and then he's gonna do them in an order, right? So this is 1, 2, 3. So then you just want to get away from them in that order. So like that, like that. Now, right when this ends, he's gonna do far or near. In this case, it's far. That means we have to be near, and then we have to kill the ass during this as well. If you don't kill the ass, he will enrage for massive damage. These are really squishy though. It's not like floor 10. These are really squishy, so you'll have plenty of time to kill those. And that's the whole fight. This repeats, except he can sometimes do the push instead of the getaway thing. So there, he just does it. The blue is push. Same thing, it's gonna be an order. It's always the boss first. And we just want to get pushed away from all of them. Like this. This time he's doing near side, so that means we have to be away because he's gonna blow up near. Like that. And that's the whole fight. You've seen everything. Sometimes there's these puddles. He doesn't do them all the time. Maybe it's like every other cycle or something. But you just have to avoid them too. And that's the whole fight. If you think that's scary, you can bark and you're gonna see less of it. But it's a pretty squishy boss. On DPS, you're gonna kill this very fast. Yellows get away. The way I remember the yellow versus blue is kind of like water's pushing you. Yellow is like, I don't know, yellow is just danger, I guess. I just remember the blue mostly. Plenty of time to kill those. Do you see that thing they're casting? That's their enrage. See, this is getting pushed. If you ever lose track of like the order, you can arms length this. So like if I don't know the order, I can just arms length like this. Like that. So like if you were not paying attention, just wait until the first one pushes you and then arms length. And then if you lost track during the other one, right? Where you have to get away, well, just use a defensive if you have one available. And then don't get hit by like all three, you know, like choose a side and commit to it. So that's yellow, and it means it's get away. And then we know this is the 2, and it means we're just gonna position there. And then we just move into the first spot. Like that. Boss doing far, that means we have to be close. And see, I took this one. But it didn't do that much damage, right? We're a tank. That's like the power of tank. It's like you still wouldn't die on a DPS at the moment, but later on there's gonna be mechanics where you would die on a DPS, but then tank gets away with it. And there's gonna be mechanics where you would die if you got it twice, but then tank you could get it by 5 times, right? So you're gonna see me actually get vuln quite a lot on this guide, which only is gonna prove the power of tank. I'm not doing it intentionally though, don't get me wrong. I'm just failing the mechanics, but it should prove to you that tank is pretty good for these bosses.